Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Starfall ready to ship saber that was sent to me by the person who bought it. I had done an install unbeknownst to me for them in the past through Nick, and they were happy with it. So they asked me to do it. It's a relatively simple setup. So we do have a fully removable sled, not a whole lot of intricacies going on. The only feature we really show off is the LED strip there. So why don't we do this? Why don't we hop down to the table? We'll talk about what went on with the install. We'll show off the chassis a little bit, and then we'll come back out. We'll put a blade in it, and then we'll show off some blade styles, call it a day. So let's do that now. So here it is, the ready to ship saber from Starfall. This was clearly utilizing some brand new pieces, parts that came from the Saberbay. So I think this is the Machina grip, and this is the pommel area of the, oh, I'm forgetting the name now. But yeah, so Nick kind of put it together with a thin neck and took what was the pommel for a Sith-oriented saber, and then the grip for the like this kind of High Republic looking thing, and then put a brass pommel in it. So yeah, so really nice. Again, this is another one of those nice sabers where no tools are required. We have a thumb screw for our blade retention. It does come with a blade plug here, which I'll take out now. And interestingly enough, because this does, like I said, utilize that part from Saberbay that was intended to be a pommel, the lip of this was a 1-inch blade plug, but the actual depth of the blade socket is down here. So we've got about an inch, inch and a quarter. I forget exactly how much, but plenty of depth. It's probably more like an inch and a half, but it is a 7/8. So, and the cool thing is the entire baffled area in copper here lights up whenever the saber's on. So this sports a Shtok NPXL V4. It's just going to mimic what the blade does, but we do have some onboard pixels there. So if you don't have a blade around and you do want to kind of test it, you can see what it looks like I said, with some of that shine through. It's really cool. We are using the Kessel Custom Sabers / Saberbay 8mm switches. I used the brass housing with the aluminum actuator to kind of go in theme with the style here of brass and aluminum and black and copper. It has it all. It's really cool. So yeah, this strip, Nick put some, forget what this is called. This is like a brass flex tube for wires, and then just kind of took up some of the space here. I believe on the Machina, there might be like a resin printed or something like screen. Don't quote me on that. I'm not real familiar with that hilt. And then Nick put some brass mesh here and left this to be exposed, so that does go on the chamber. And then we have our, not a D-ring, but a key ring here. And the nice thing is these screws will be our alignment so that this strip always lands right here. So let's take the chassis out and show you how that works. Do keep in mind that when you do slide it out, we have a section here where the Proffie's kicked at an angle. So if you allow it to twist at all while you've gotten it in there, then like you won't get any of the rest of the way. So you can see like we got our slot here, and so long as you keep it straight, it'll continue back here. So yeah, put this down for a second and show it off. So this is just a, FDM printed. This is a filament I haven't used before. It's called PBT, polybutylene terephthalate. It's a supposedly like 6 times more robust than PLA, and it's a carbon fiber infused, so it feels really cool. It's also intended for like high temp uses, so this will never melt. I think people use it for like car parts and stuff like that. So I did use a Saberbay battery wrap to go with all of the Saberbay theme here. And you can see we've got our 10 pixel strip there. I don't think all 10 pixels light up here, but most of them do. just because I think the size of this is like 1 or 2 pixels shorter than the actual size of this, but no big deal. We got our 18650 kill switch there, fully enclosed 28mm KR bass speaker, and then, like I said, we've got our alignment strip, got a Rebel logo, and then some greebly work. And so take note that positive is toward the speaker, so I like to kind of just smack it that way. Spring side's your negative. You got the Starfall logo clearly in there, and then yeah, you just put it in, kick it on, and you're good to go. Do keep in mind, if you're going to be taking the USB in and out, there's no adhesive or anything like that. It's at an angle, so you can just use a regular cable, but when you go to pull the cable, make sure to press down on the USB so you're not yanking the Proffie board itself. Over time, that friction fit will just loosen up, and you just don't want that to happen. And if you need to get to the SD card, you can just get some tweezers and pull it out that way. So yeah, let's change fonts real quick. So if I didn't mention, left is power, right is aux. So, and then again, we've got our alignment screws here. You'll notice they just barely protrude in, but it can only go in one way. You'll find out that, you know, if you try to put it in this way, that's as far as you'll go in. But like I said, keep in mind, if you twist it at all, when it's the Proffie angle portion is right here, then you can have a bad time. So legacy. We'll just pop that back out, and so now we can see doing something a little different. So yeah, just pop that in there, and then pommel will cinch it down. Like I said, no tools. And then we can see, I've animated these strips differently for each preset. Sometimes they match the blade color, sometimes they don't. Sometimes there's a different off color than an on color, but they all kind of do something different. I'll start it up muted here for a second. If you double tap power, you can start muted. So you can see, I think, took a second there to boot up. And now you can see it's going the other direction, and it's a little bit more. And then it responds to blaster blocks with the aux, and then clashes like that. Nice. So there's our emitter, like I said, doing it what it should. And again, if we got the blade plug in, you can see the whole thing lights up. It's really nice. So fully enclosed, so it's plenty loud. You can obviously back it off if it's too much for you, but it's really nice sounding. I like it a lot. So let's do this. Let's put a blade in it, and let's show off a couple of these blade styles and some functions. Like I said, this takes a 7/8 diameter blade. I have it programmed for a 36-inch blade length, or 132 pixels, which is the standard for your KR pixel strip or your quantum strip, which is what I use here. So if we start that back up, and I do have a dog right here. So the last three presets are the newer fonts, Alliance, Legacy, and Ascension. Those all have preons. You can only get the preon with button press. I have twist on and thrust on enabled as gesture on commands. And so if you do that, you'll bypass the preon. And for these, they're sound reactive. So each preon sound is a little different. So the blade style, like preon, will look a little different. It's kind of glitchy, so it can be quick, or it can take a little bit extra time. The nice thing is Ruin is one of the older fonts, and it's the only other one that has a preon, and it's very visible in standard. So let's just do that real quick. So I'm going to start this in standard mode by just hitting the button so we can see that preon. And there was one of the quicker ones. So let's do one more. There you go. It's a little bit longer and a little bit more reactive. So yeah, this is Ascension. Again, our aux is our blaster blocks. In standard mode, if you want to engage a lockup, you can hold either power or aux as you clasp the saber. And so for as long as you're holding it, it'll stay locked up until you let go. But if you use a gesture like twist or thrust, then you'll get into battle mode, and then it will react to clashes. So let's do that real quick. So if we want to engage a lockup, we can do a heavy clash, right? You move it around a little bit, but when you pull out of that position, then you disengage. But if you do like light clashes, you'll get like the glancing effects as if you were in normal mode. So that one was a little bit too much, so. There you go. So let's go to the very top. So that's the last preset. Now we're at the beginning of the preset list. So it's got all 11 or 12 fonts. I didn't put the battery level. I've been doing that quite a bit because there's a little Easter egg on there. But with the Proffie OS voice commands, you're more likely to engage the voice pack to get your battery level. So if you hold aux and tap power when the Saber's off,
battery level 95%,
then you can just get it that way. And normally what I would have done is like one of the accents would have been like from green to red, but I decided not to do that on some of these later builds, mostly because I've been getting into more complicated programming, and an extra preset can be the difference between filling up the config or not. This config, however, is very simple. It only takes up 52%. So you have all the space in the world if you want to add some extra fonts or presets. I include the config on the SD card with a template. There's only two blade styles, your main blade and your strip. So again, that's why there's a lot of space available to you. I also program my particular presets so that they have options you can turn on and off. And if you can read the documentation in there that comes from the FET263 library. So it'll have all of the comments that say which option are, and then you can use FET's website to kind of tweak those at your leisure. You can also do it on the fly with edit mode. I don't demonstrate that here, but I'll have a printout that goes through edit mode and it goes through all the menu commands. But if you wanted to, you could duplicate a preset, change the font folder that it looks at so that you can have a brand new one. And then you can change the color for the main blade or the little strip, and then you'll have a brand new preset. And so yeah, you could do it that way. So this is Starfall. Again, just standard with hitting power, but we can also do twist on, twist off, or thrust, which is usually like a horizontal position, push or a pull. And now we're in battle mode, like I said before. So here's Celestial. You can see this one. Infinium. You can see that strip is reactive as well. So if you want to do a force effect, hold power for 2 seconds in any other position than straight up or straight down. And what I have it programmed to do is to go unstable or something like that for as long as its sound plays. So if you want to switch between force player and quote player, then point straight down and then hold power for 2 seconds. And now you're hearing it do a quote and you're not seeing the blade effect. But we can switch back. And now we have the animation and then that sound effect. Let's go to another
Hero's Journey.
And show that just again. So again, we're back into force player. And you can see that a little bit better. You can start and stop the designated track while the blade's on, but only the designated track, and it has to be pointed straight up. So let's do that real quick. This one starts off quiet, so you can barely hear it. There you go. And it'll keep playing until you press power for 2 seconds. Now, when the blade is off and you're not pointing it straight up, you can get into track player mode, which will look at the common folder, and I've loaded it up with a bunch of tracks so that it's fun. You'll hear a little chime, and then it'll wait for you to rotate through the track list alphanumerically, and you'll just hear it like keep starting the next track and the next track. If you want to stop and you like that track and want it to keep playing, you can hit either power or aux or a command with one of the gestures. It'll do something different. Again, that'll be on the printout with the instructions. But basically, power and aux or power and like a twist and an aux and a twist will either do play continuously, play a random one, just play this one or something like that. I'm not real sure, but let's test that out real quick. So there's your chime. So it's playing the first track. And if I like the Cantina band and I want to keep playing that, I'll hit the power button, and now I can move the saber around. And then again, just hold power for 2 seconds to turn it off. So again, with the voice packs, I have put whatever character I was pretty sure the font was designed around within each folder, so you'll get a new character for each one. If I wasn't sure, or if you're adding new fonts in the future, then it will default to, I think, Huyang. So for instance, this one is Hero, which I believe is Luke. So if we do a volume level, which is hold power and tap aux,
enter volume menu.
You can hear Luke talk.
Maximum volume.
So if you rotate,
maximum volume.
If you rotate counterclockwise, you'll go down. If you rotate clockwise, you'll go up in like 10% increments. But
maximum volume. Exit volume menu.
I'll leave it at maximum from now. So Ruin would be like a Kylo because it's the unstable. So let's show that real quick. Real short pre-on, but there it was. And then if we wanted to get like a battery level from Kylo, hold aux tap power.
Battery level 92%.
So there you go. And then again, if you're in edit mode, that voice character will walk you through all of the various options to your disposal. And again, I'm not going to cover that here, but I'll have a printout. So that's pretty much it. There's a bunch of other functionality built into the FET263 prop file. So you can go watch all of his videos. Again, I'll have a quick printout that goes through kind of most of the common features, but there may be some new stuff that rolled out with OS 8 that isn't a part of this printout. I think just recently, Fernando was updating his documentation for OS 8. So I'm not sure if that's available yet. But again, it's backwards compatible. So anything that I print will still be true in the future. But if you decide to do some more stuff or turn on certain things or edit your own config, then that's the best place to do that. So I always recommend my customers go read the printout first in full so that you know if something is doing something weird that you don't understand. Chances are it's a feature, not a bug. And you can learn about that by reading the instructions. If there's something that's not covered there, go check the FET263 website, fet263.com. There's a plethora of Proffie OS information, config information, blade style information. That's how he got popular. But yeah, so thanks to Fernando, thanks to Brian Connor for the voice packs, thanks to Nick for sending this to me for install, and thanks to the customer for your patience. So to the customer, if you have any questions after you've referred to either the instructions or the website or the videos, then you can feel free to email me. To everyone else, thanks for watching, and may the force be with you.